What's up, everybody? So after a 4 to 5 month hiatus, we are finally working on the racing lawnmower. It is actually raining like crazy outside, as you can see. Mud puddles everywhere, so I would be riding the off-road mower, but I don't feel like getting soaking wet and being miserable, so why not work on this thing? So the next 2 or 3 minutes worth of footage you're about to see was actually filmed in January. The reason I stopped working on it is because I've just kind of been more into the off-road lawnmower recently and just kind of pushed the racing mower to the side. But since it's raining outside and I don't want to go out there and get soaking wet, we are going to work on the racing mower. All right, so one of the first things I've done was rigged up a pull starter on this thing, so that way I can pull start it and not have to worry about my battery dying if I'm at like a car show or a tractor show. So to make this pull starter, I robbed a pulley off of the spindle on this donor deck. So I put it in a vise, ground a slot in it to put my pull rope in, primed it up, painted it up, and voila. And yes, I still will get a battery for it. I just rigged up the pull starter on here as the emergency fail-safe, and it kind of just adds to the look of it. All right, so next we're gonna look at the exhaust, and surprisingly, the bolts actually came out pretty easy. But we're gonna take the pipes off, and I'm gonna kind of move them around and see what's gonna work. All right, y'all, so I got these pipes here, and I routed them each way, you know, upside down, backwards, everything, and it just will not work. But yeah, something like that, make a little fitting right there. It's gonna look awesome. Now, a 2-in-1 exhaust going right there, that would probably sound better. So like both cylinders are both in the same pipe, but you know, I don't really have that much room to make it right there. And with just 2 pipes right there, it doesn't sound too bad. It doesn't sound like 2 single-cylinder motors. All right, so I've done a lot of testing, and a 212 exhaust flange would fit on there, but it's slightly I mean, if you look at it compared to the other flange, it looks pretty much the same. I just need to do a little bit of trimming. This is also a 212 flange, and comparing it to that, this will not fit. Another kind of major problem with the exhaust is going to be the steering, because the steering comes pretty close right here. This side isn't really too bad. By the way, here's the single-cylinder Briggs OHV exhaust header compared to the horizontally opposed. So here we are 4 months later. It's been sitting. Let's get these wheels on here and get this thing running again. So if you've seen the last video and all the stuff I put on this thing, I put in a tachometer, a fuel tank, which you cannot see, and LED headlights. And I also got these bearings in the mail, which I told you in the last video are gonna be going in these wheels. Now you're probably wondering why I don't buy another replacement set of wheels to put on the front right here, and why did I buy these wheels? It's because these wheels for one wheel and tire are like $80, which is just stupidly expensive. I got these for about, I think, $15, something like that. We had to actually modify these wheels slightly because before, when you put them on there, the spindle wouldn't come all the way through, so we actually had to trim this down. I'll show you the footage of how we did it. So I'm going to kind of real quick explain what you just saw. So you saw the milling machine drill bit go around and slowly drill this out. And we had to do a little bit at the time because, you know, we couldn't really find a proper way on how to mount these wheels down. So we just had to go a little bit at the time. It took a little while, but we got them all done and they look really nice. These say they're 13 inches tall, these say they're 15 inches tall, but they're kind of close. This one is a tiny bit smaller though. I do think the skinnier wheels would look better on the front of the racing mower, and plus it'll allow more clearance if I decide to make an exhaust right here. After putting these wheels on the off-road mower, I decided to keep these bigger front wheels on here because bigger tires off-roading is just, you know, much better, am I right? These wheels right here were originally supposed to go on the off-road mower, but I changed my mind and we're gonna put them on this one. So these are the same bearings, 3/4 inch inside diameter, 1 3/8 outside diameter that are in these wheels. And the reason I had to get these new bearings was because the old bearings were actually 5/8 inside diameter and they wouldn't fit over the shaft. So I had to get 3/4 inch. So now I'm going to get to installing these bearings in these wheels. And basically what I'm going to do this is put the bearing in the wheel, then put a large socket over it and tap it gently into place. I'm going to do that for all 4 of them and then show you the finished product. And when you're tapping bearings in, you also want to make sure that you are tapping it on the outside edge, not on the inside edge. Otherwise, you're going to screw the bearing up and then you're going to have to buy some more. So as you can see right here, we got both wheels with the bearings in them. Now, yes, I do know these are sealed bearings, but I just want to put a little bit of grease on this. It just kind of, you know, makes you feel better. There's some lubrication going on in here, so that's what I'm gonna do. Shove a little bit in the wheel as well. All right, so I did the same thing to the other side, and yeah, they're both spinning really free. I thought it was gonna look a little screwed up at first, but it came out better than what I thought. So I do actually want to crank this thing up and drive it around, but it is unfortunately raining outside, so we're not going to do that today. And also the exhaust is unfortunately not going to be in this video. I do want to do something different with the exhaust, but right there it just seems simple enough to kind of leave it there for now. But I really do not fully know what I want to do with the exhaust because I'm having clearances with the steering. It's a little bit better, but I still got to think about that. Now I do like the exhaust that I've seen on Fearless Front's channel, the Mud King's lawnmower, where it basically has 2 pipes coming into one and coming out right here. That actually sounds really good, so I might do that. But as I said before, it's going to take a little bit to come up with a exhaust that's going to work and clear everything and sound good at the same time. You know what I could have done, y'all? If I would have still had this Honda CB750, which I sold that bike by the way, because that thing just needed way more than what I was willing to put into it. I got the motor running, but that was all I really wanted to do with that thing anyway. Bought it for $300, sold it for $600. So yeah, about $100-ish profit because I had to put some money into it. But anyway, if I still had that CB750 engine, that thing could have bolted right in here, just like this. And I could have probably run a chain with a live axle to the rear. Because I could have had like a 5-speed transmission that could shift right there with the clutch and everything. And run my exhaust like, you know, out to the side. But, you know, that's just a lot of fabrication. But yeah, that would be a pretty crazy racing lawnmower right there. It's putting a Honda CB750 engine, positive traction rear end. You talk about a racing lawnmower. That thing would be insane. But this twin does sound really nice and I kind of want to keep it on there. And this racing lawnmower has the same transaxle as the off-road lawnmower, which is a Tecumseh Peerless MST206. This is also a Tecumseh Peerless MST206. And as you see, I pulley swapped the living crap out of this thing. 1 revolution of the engine is 2.5 turns of this pulley right here. And I've probably got this thing over like 51 miles an hour. It's probably geared for 55. I never got on video because, you know, it's kind of hard, you know, to film and do all this crap when you're by yourself. But I did screenshot when I hit 51 miles an hour. Yes, believe me, I did actually hit 51 miles an hour. I didn't just get in my truck and drive it to 51 miles an hour. But anyway, I am just amazed at how this transaxle is holding up to this amount of speed. This thing is spinning 10 times its recommended speed. And wow. It actually holds up. The kind of oil I put in it, I put the lightest weight gear oil I could put in there mixed with some engine oil. And the reason I put the engine oil in there is because when you're spinning that fast, I mean, you gotta have oil flowing through there. So that's what I did. And so far, I've not blown it up. So I know Tecumseh makes, you know, bullcrap go-kart motors, but when it comes to transaxles, they can make a dang good transmission. I gotta tell you that. Now, I know some of y'all are wondering and wanting me to weld the diff in the racing mower. Y'all, you know, as much stress and speed this transaxle is going through, I'm not going to touch the diff in there. Because, I mean, I'm already asking a lot by pulley swapping the crap out of this thing. And really, it's on road most of the time anyway. So, I mean, and I didn't build it for off-roading. I built it for racing. you know, dirt roads and concrete and stuff like that. So yeah, that diff is gonna stay open. I'm not gonna touch it. Because when Cars and Cameras welded their diff, when they had a lawnmower similar like this, yes, this build is based on their lawnmower that they created back then. They actually shattered one of the gears in the transaxle, and I don't really want that to happen in this. The thing is that this does over 50 miles an hour, and this only does 18 miles an hour. But this summer, we're probably gonna weld the diff in this mower right here, because I mean, when you're off-roading, welded diff is just necessary. It does all right with the open diff. I'm pretty surprised, even with dang turf tires, but you know, a welded diff is just gonna handle better and go over more terrain and go through more mud, etc. Alright, so since this mower does not have a battery on it, I'm going to have to pull start it, which I will get a battery soon, as I said before. So let's cut the ignition on, push the clutch in, pull the choke. This is my first time starting it. I added a little bit of gas. Hopefully the fuel pump will pump the fuel up, and it'll start up. And hopefully this thing doesn't get in my way. Let me do it on the other side. All right, let's try it again. The camera cut off as I was fixing to drive around and didn't film anymore because this stupid storage bullcrap I gotta do on this phone. So I took care of that right now, which is why I'm filming this part. But just to let you know how it did really good. One thing I'm gonna change for sure, it's probably gonna be another video, probably next video or so, maybe off-road lawnmower is gonna be the next video, I don't know. But I'm gonna gear this jack shaft system down. I'm gonna put a bigger pulley on the bottom of the jack shaft, so you know it's gonna like slow us down a little bit, because even being like fourth gear or so, and I get this thing gas, because I mean this is a twin, and you give it gas, it's gonna go no matter what. This thing freaking flies, and it just gets faster and faster and faster, and the RPMs don't really go up on this thing. So that's another reason why I'm gearing this thing down, because I mean I still got fifth and sixth, so you know it just makes sense to gear down, and it'll be better for the transaxle as well, and it won't be spinning as fast. So I'm going to be doing that in the near future, and I'm probably going to be putting a standard pulley on the engine shaft of this thing, because I don't really like the semi-automatic torque converter thing I put in there, because I don't know, it just acts kind of weird, and I don't really like it. So all that's going to be done in another video, but so far, I'm sorry you couldn't be able to see it, but next video I will actually film more and be driving it. I know I said that in the video before, but I will actually do it. It's just like the off-road lawnmower, I did the same thing. So yeah, there should be changes coming. I don't know when the exhaust will be, as I said, but that'll be in the near future. I know you can't really tell it on video, but the exhaust actually does sound really good in real life. But I think what would sound really phenomenal is having a 2-in-1 pipe kind of swoop down. Hopefully I can make something work, and kind of out to the side rather. Because I was originally thinking about just 2 straight headers going up, and number 1, if you park it outside, which I really won't, but just in case, if it rains, it's gonna flood the exhaust, which is why I made the exhaust slightly down under there, so it's not gonna flood that out. And 2, if you got 2 pipes coming straight up like this, it's gonna kind of sound like 2 single-cylinder motors running, and I don't really want that. And 3, when you're sitting on there, the exhaust is gonna be blowing you in the face, and it's gonna be like 150,000 decibels in your ears, and you're gonna be deaf. So yeah, what I really am thinking is just a 2-in-1 exhaust out the right here. So let me know what you think on this update of the racing mower. Do you like it better than the off-road mower? I mean, you can't really compare the two. I mean, they're both lawn mowers, but one's for off-road and one's for on-road. So yeah, you get the idea. Let me know in the comments on what you think. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, click on the other buttons on YouTube tell you to click. If you didn't like this video, click on thumbs down twice because 2 is better than 1. 3 more doesn't work. That does not count for likes, as we all know. And yeah, y'all should see me in the next one.